greetings, my chat tribe. My name is Michelle Williams. I know that I have been missing in action for a couple of months, maybe even more than that, but there's a reason to that, and I'm gonna let you know in a couple of minutes, because me coming over here and uploading videos on like relationships, letting you know that you don't have to stay in a relationship that is toxic. You deserve to be loved properly, and that first love should come from yourself. And a lot of times we don't know how to love ourselves. We're so busy trying to love someone else to get that love back from them that we miss out on even treating ourselves the way that we should treat ourselves, right? So with that being said, I don't know if I had announced it on this channel yet, but if not, I'm going to do so in this video, that I have changed the brand from Michelle's Coaching Biz to Heal and Thrive Business Hub. And the reason why I did that, because there's two sides to this brand. One is the marketing side, where I equip entrepreneurs how to grow a business through courses, through all different types of tools that I have for them to basically identify who their target audience is, so they can know how to create content, how to create offers, and things of that nature. So that is the business side of Heal and Thrive. So the healing side is for women who have been in toxic relationships, and the connection is that sometimes what we don't think about is that we're in a toxic relationship, or a marriage, or a partnership, how it can really sabotage or maybe hinder your business success. Because a lot of women that I know that who are very gifted, very talented, and very creative, they are in relationships that don't serve them, that don't speak to their higher selves, and they don't understand sometimes why they're stuck in a cycle where they could have a multi-million-dollar business, but because they're around a certain type of energy that continues to keep them stuck in that place, they can't produce the financial abundance that they desire. And I remember at one point in time when I was, in the this farce of a marriage, that this woman said to me, she said, your business is not going to grow until you get out of that situation. And I didn't understand what she meant by that, because I was so bent on trying to make my business grow. And she says, because every time that you try to get ahead, that energy or that person is going to pull you back, because they're either going to be jealous of your success. When they see that you're making a certain amount of income or money, then they're going to maybe, stop doing certain things financially. So now you can come out of your pocket. So you're never in a position to save. You're never in the position to increase. You're always, either stagnant in your growth as far as money wise, and also in your creativity. And then it was true, because I kept seeing myself being repetitive with certain things I was doing. I started seeing myself, start a project but not see it all the way through, because what was going on emotionally and mentally, because that person was playing on, my emotional state, my mental state, as far as, sabotaging you in one area of your life to make you feel like, okay, you're not good enough. Nobody's gonna, do this for you, or nobody's gonna, oh, you need to do that. You need to do this. So you're always second guessing yourself. You're never coming to the place where, you have that inner knowing to say, no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to stick with this, and see it all the way through. So as an entrepreneur, you have to be in that place where you have to take a risk. You have to continue to double down on certain things. But when you're with a partner that doesn't believe in you, is jealous of you, is jealous of what they see in you, and they want to hinder that, then that will keep you on this hamster wheel of always creating, but never getting to that place where you are thriving, right? And that's where Heal and Thrive Business Hub came in. So with that being said, now that I'm back, I want to let you know that I am having a free webinar starting December 29th. That's going to be on a Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this webinar is called Loving Yourself First. And with this webinar, what I'm going to be talking about is topics that's going to help you to set boundaries, help you to overcome self-sabotage. We're going to talk about, prioritizing your self-care, which is so important, because self-care is just more than going to the spa, or doing your hair and your nails. That's part of it. Doing facials. Self-care is really about doing that inner work, getting to know who you are, getting to know what you want out of life, not always what somebody else wants that you want to provide for them, but what is it that you want? Why won't you put yourself first? Why won't you Or why don't you think that you deserve more in your life, instead of you just feeling like you are just, this is your lot in life and you're just going to accept it? No, you basically can pull into your life what you desire, but you have to believe that it is possible, right? And with that being said, as I'm going through, creating this webinar, because if it is basically things that I've went through, things that I've experienced, even things that I am overcoming myself and coming into that person that I desire to be, how I want to live, how I want to look, how I want to show up in the world, how I want to attract, a mate to me, and not basically feel as though I have to just give everything of myself away in order to please them, but I just, take whatever is given to me. No, it's time to set proper boundaries in our lives as women in order to basically say, no, this is how I deserve to be treated. This is how I deserve to be respected. And that first love and that first respect comes from you. You have to teach people how to treat you. If you set a boundary, but then you remove it, then you're teaching them that, your boundary doesn't mean anything. If you say, well, you know what? After 10 o'clock, don't call me because I'm either getting ready for the next day, I'm having some quiet time to myself, or whatever that may look like, and that person calls you, whether it's a romantic partner, friend, family member, whoever it is, and you still pick up the phone, guess what? You're letting them know that that boundary doesn't mean anything. You're basically letting them know that, oh, she says that all the time, or he says that all the time, but they're still going to do it because they want me in their life. So you have to really understand what is important to you, what is vital to you, and why do you put up with certain things that you've put up with? Is it because you feel as though that is all you can get, or is that all you deserve? Because that is what you're telling yourself. Like, who told you that lie? Somebody had to instill that into you, but it's time to now switch that mindset, change that programming, take out those old tapes, and it's time to put some new tapes in there. It's time to start some new thought patterns, some new thought processes, so you can start thinking differently. You can start showing up in the world differently. And I know in the beginning it's a little bit scary because we have not put down boundaries, and sometimes you can feel it like in your spirit, like when you are about to go against something that you know that you shouldn't go against. You'll feel it in your body. That's one thing about when you have gone through trauma, or you've gone through certain relationships, and somebody is asking you something that you know that you're really not willing to do. Sometimes your body gives off a signal. It could be nervousness, it can be anxiousness, it could be fear, it could be overwhelm. And sometimes those are clues to what your body is basically saying, this is not something you should do. Now, if you don't feel those different types of feelings or emotions, it could be because you're numb. You've numbed yourself to where you don't even feel anything. You're just basically going through life, existing and not living. And I've lived that life, and I'm never going back to just existing. I know that I am here for a purpose, and that purpose I'm going to see fulfilled in my life, right? So let me show you what I've been creating while I've been away so you can understand I have not forgotten about you, but I want to make sure that whenever I come across and I give out content, I want it to be where it is something that can help you, because I understand that we as women, when we go through traumatic relationships, when we go through family dynamics that really break us, that get us to the place where we feel as though, why am I here? Why is it that I can give out all this love, but I don't receive any? And I think it's because we need to first set that first firm foundation to love ourselves first. And whoever doesn't follow that plan of loving you correctly, then that is not someone that you need in your life. And sometimes it could be a family member. Sometimes it could be a romantic partner. Sometimes it could be a friend. It could be a business partner, whoever that is. You have to teach people how to treat you. But if you keep pushing that boundary back just for the sake of, oh, well, I'm going to give them another chance. Oh, well, I'm going to do this. Then guess what? You again are teaching them how to treat you. So with that being said, I created this card deck called Loving Yourself First. It's 42 cards in the deck, right? And in this deck, it's basically different types of prompts and, for journaling, even though I have the Coffee Over Conversations journal. And I am going to change the title, even though that is the title of this channel, but I want it to kind of fit together, and I will create a journal to go along with the card deck. They will be two separate products, but the thing about it, you don't need to buy my journal. And I'm just putting it out there. You don't need to buy my journal unless you just want to support the channel. You can go to the dollar store and get a notebook. My whole premise for coming over here is for you to get healed, not just to purchase a journal from me. But what I'm saying is that I want to make sure that you are doing the work, the inner work that you need to do, so you can live the life that you want, so you can start seeing and being proud of yourself. Start seeing you becoming that person that you may look at other women and say, oh wow, I wish I could do that. I wish I could be like her. Or not even to say be like her, but move like her, dress like her, you know, have that confidence like her. So with these cards, I'm going to pull a card and I'm going to show you how you kind of use the deck. Now, there's so many ways that you can use this deck. You can have a girls' night. Maybe say you have some girlfriends and you know that you've all gone through some type of relationship issues. Maybe you're still going through it. You can have a night where you can invite your girlfriends over, have some snacks, have some wine or something to drink, right, laid out. And then pull out this card deck. Maybe have some paper and a pen and say, we're really going to start working on ourselves, because it's time that we stop self-sabotaging ourselves and start now loving on ourselves. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull a card. You can go and have each one just pull a card and put it down, right? So when it's their turn, then they can turn the card over and then you can have a person read it. So the card that I just picked is called Emotional Safety and Self-Expression, right? So it says, are you afraid to share your true feelings because you don't want to rock the boat? So the journaling prompt is, think of a time when you held back your true feelings to keep the peace. What impact did it have on you? How can you create space to speak your truth? Now, this can be for either a romantic partner, maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's a child, maybe it's a friend, because you want to make sure, are you silencing your voice in order to keep the peace? Because at the end of the day, it may not start an argument within the home or between the two people. But you know, because you have not spoken up for yourself, that it still has created some type of disconnect within you, right? It has created some type of discord. So that thing is always in the back of your mind. Because when you don't speak up for yourself, it continues to show people, oh, well, you know, they're passive. They're not going to say anything. But then when you start, let me explain the other flip side of that. Because when you start speaking up for yourself, then people say, oh, you're aggressive, or you're this, or you're that. It doesn't matter how people respond to you now taking your power back, or you reclaiming your power back. What matters is you are getting to that place of where now, no, I've kept quiet for too long. And you don't have to say it in a disrespectful way. Your tone doesn't have to be loud or angry. You just have to basically be able to articulate it in a way that you know that you are taking up for yourself, that you're saying, I'm not going to allow this situation to continue to go forward in my life. I'm going to make sure that I am taking accountability for what is important to me. And so when you do that, you regain and you reclaim your power. And sometimes you got to keep doing it, because one time may not be enough. Sometimes people will say, oh, well, maybe they did this before. Maybe they held out for 2 weeks, but after the third, the 2 weeks time was up, they gave up and they went back to who they, usually were, or what they were usually doing. No, this is something that you have to double down on. This is something that you have to say, how important is it for you to know that you are giving away your power? How important is it for you to continue to show up in your life as your authentic self, as what God has put in you to be? Like, when you don't show up as yourself, or you keep sacrificing yourself for love or for whatever that is, then you're not basically living out the God-given purpose that he has put in you. That is not something that he wants. He doesn't want you to go around and live a life of where he has put all of this creativity and gifts and all this purpose in you, but because someone else comes and mistreats you or does things to you, and you just be quiet because you feel as though that's all that you deserve, or that's all that you should accept. No. So then you can go and as I was saying, if you have your girlfriends, then they can now read their card, and it gives a place for discussion. It gives a place, and sometimes it's going to be a moment where you may have to step back, and it may bring some tears. It may bring up some moments of reflection where you were like, well, dang, I didn't realize what I was doing there. I didn't understand, that, I was really giving away my power. I was really, not valuing who I am and what it is that I'm supposed to do in my life. So I think this is a great tool. And even if you don't want to do it in that type of setting, it's nothing wrong with, maybe on the weekend or whatever day that you want to just take time and just take that card deck and just maybe go sit in your bedroom or in a place in your office or wherever that is, someplace where it's quiet, and just pull a card, pull out your journal, and just start writing, start, speaking to yourself, start talking to yourself, start loving on yourself. When I get up in the morning, especially when I have to go to work, I'm like, okay, Michelle, how are you feeling today? That's the first, after I thank God for waking me up, I'm like, okay, Michelle, how are you feeling today? I check in with me. Because why would you wait for somebody? Oh, somebody didn't call me today to say good morning, or somebody didn't text me today to say good morning. Are you checking in with you? Because we can't expect people to do things for us that we're not doing for ourselves, right? So you have to check in with you regardless of who does it or who does or who does not check in with you. You have to check in with you, because you are the person who you are around all the time. If you don't love yourself, how can somebody else really love you properly? They're only going to love you according to how either they learned to love or what they want from you. But when you start setting a higher standard, guess what happens? Either people are going to fall in line or they're not. But that does not mean that you stop being who you are called to be. Continue to be that person who you are called to be. Now, what I'm going to do for this webinar that is going to be on December 29th, I am going to have those who sign up. So if you sign up for this webinar, I'm going to put the email, I'm going to put the link in the description so you can go ahead and sign up to be on the list. So when I send out the link for the webinar, you will be able to register and log in. So every person who signs up for the webinar, at the end of the webinar, you have to attend. I'm going to pull a name for those who had attend. I'm going to pull a name, and you will be the winner of a free card deck. So this is why it's so important to show up. But if you want to purchase the card deck before the webinar, I will also have the link in the description box as well. I'm running a holiday sale on the card deck right now, so you can get it excuse me, at a discounted price. So go ahead and either click that link to get, your first Loving Yourself First card deck, or you can go ahead and click that link to sign up for the free webinar, which enters you into getting a free card deck or winning a free card deck. So I'm going to have so much more information when it comes to the webinar. I'm going to be talking about karmic cycles, and let me just kind of explain what a karmic cycle is. Maybe you've not heard of that. Maybe you heard the word karma, right? But a karmic cycle is something that is not really bad, but it's there to teach us things. And karmic cycles are when we get into relationships where there is, again, maybe disrespect, there's sabotage, there's so many just different aspects of that relationship that doesn't serve our higher purpose, right? So when we come out of those relationships and now we understand, what we didn't like within that relationship, then when we get back into a new relationship, if we have not healed, if we have not grown from what we've been through, then it's like that cycle says, okay, well, you didn't learn how to set boundaries. So now you're going back again through a similar, aspect of this relationship that you were in previously, because you didn't learn to set boundaries from the last relationship. You didn't learn to speak up, so you silenced your voice just like you did in the last relationship. So really what karmic cycles come to do is they come to show you and to teach you how to really value yourself, how to get yourself to that place, that higher place in your life where you're not repeating cycles over and over again. So you have to break them by taking the lessons where you're not just sabotaging yourself. You're not just putting yourself out there because of what you want. You got to make sure that when you approach anything in life, it's authentic. You're not out to, sabotage someone else's life. You're not out just for your own selfish gain. And this is the reason why sometimes we go through karmic cycles, because of our own selfishness, because of our own desires of what we want and what we want out of people. So until we learn these lessons, we keep repeating them. And I'm going to dive a little bit more deeper into that. And then I have a surprise coming up during that webinar. So stay tuned. Go ahead and sign up for it, because it is going to be something that I know will be life-changing. It will be some tips and some information there that's going to also help you. And when you sign up for the Loving Yourself Free webinar, you're going to receive a free guide that's called Embrace Your Journey. That's going to kind of help you get started on that path of putting yourself first, of doing your self-care and understanding your mindset, and maybe the things that you do that you need to relearn certain patterns. So again, my name is Michelle. I am so honored to be on this journey with you. I'm still on this journey. I am evolving into the person that I truly want to become, and I want to help you reach that goal in your life as well. So stay tuned. Follow me for more. Comment below if you need to comment and ask me any questions as well, and share the video. So I'll be back with more. So until then, have a great day and continue to heal and thrive. Bye-bye.